Everybody, it's Amalia, founder of S.T.E.M Braids and Beyond and host of the Silver Bullet S.T.E.M podcast. Today, I have an incredible guest for the audience. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you do and how anyone can get in touch with you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pooja. I'm a software engineer at Invoca, and I work in a company called in California. If you want to get in touch with me, I'll ask Amalia to put down my email under the in description. So yeah,
Awesome. So, what does a day in the job of a software engineer look like?
great question. So as a software engineer, uh, each company follow different technique, and my company follows the Jira technology, where a project is broken down into small chunks of tickets. And as a software developer, I take one ticket and I start working on it. If I have any questions, I ask for pairing. Um, and after that, I put it into code review. So what that means is that all the other engineers go and look at my code to see if it's production quality. They just leave the comments. Once that is done, it goes through the QA process. So during that time, QA will ask me, do you have demo for this, or do you have uh, any anything else that you can provide me for it? And once that's done, my job is to get it deployed. That means get it deployed to the production, and the code is available there. So that is the working portion of my job. And there are also meetings where we discuss about the project and like how to integrate the project, how to divide the project so that each team can pick it up, and how to make this more customer centric. And so yeah.
So, I know about ticketing in help desk type roles. I didn't realize software developers do that. So, to a person who may not be in IT or computer science, they may not understand what QA is and what ticketing does. So share as much or as little information as you'd like. But what is ticketing? What is QA? What does those acronyms mean?
Okay, yeah. Okay, simple terms. You take a home project and you're like, okay, I need furniture for the home. I need to clean the house. I need to cook. So you just take chits and put it on the table on the sun that's saying these are the three work that I need to done. So
Yes.
and then I'll take one chit and say I'll put it in progress. So that is how the ticketing work. Ticket is basically small portion of work.
Perfect.
And so QA
Yeah.
engineer is basically quality assurance engineer.
Yeah.
So what happens is that if I write a code to add a button in the system
Mhm.
to do something, I just record a demo saying it is doing that.
Mhm.
The QA's job is to check the entire thing. Like, is it doing that? Did adding the button affect any other things in the system? If it did, is other parts of the system working great?
Mhm.
So QA does all that, because as a developer, you don't know what areas like you wouldn't have time to test all that because you will pick up the new ticket. So yeah.
So, just a little bit more technical because my audience may not know all of the avenues in this. So, a quality assurance engineer, are they also a software development engineer? Like, what is the difference? Do they still need to know the code? Like, what is the difference in what is the career path, I guess, of the two? Because I'm learning too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I actually have that in the one of your question for how do people get into the industry. So you can totally, like, without code experience, you can do a boot camp. And like boot camp is 3 months of learning about the code, and after that you can join as a QA engineer, where you won't be coding anything, but uh, you will think of all the things that this ticket can break. So this is very I would recommend people, if you're wanting to join to the STEM, do a boot camp that's 3 months, and do your online videos where each video is like 1 hour. So within 2 hours you'll get a basic idea of what a language is, and then you join in as an intern for a QA engineer. Within 2 to 3 months you'll get a hang of it. Like if you're a proactive person asking questions, you'll get a hang of it. And after 3 months you can convert it into QA engineer full time.
I love it. Um, how did you get into software development? Like, what was your career path, education journey? How did you end up choosing this as the field of STEM you wanted to pursue?
Okay. So I grew up in a brown Indian family, and so growing up, I was given two options: either you become a doctor, or you become the engineer.
Yeah.
And so I was already good in math, and I was also chess player. I represented in national level in India,
Mhm,
so I had the technical thinking background. Uh,
mhm,
but what I did end up doing was I ended up choosing electrical engineering in my undergrad.
mhm.
And so when I was working through all these circuits and all of these boards, that's when I was like, I don't like circuits so much. And I realized one thing: I do like coding. And for the people who are like, oh, coding is difficult, I argue with that, because coding is just like you write a plus b, and
Mhm.
coding is like you just write function, open bracket, a plus b, return that. That's it. So it's like, it's coding is not difficult, and I want to break the thinking of people that say coding is difficult. It's not. It's just very, whatever it is, you just put it in the function. That's it.
I disagree because I had to do coding for my master's, and it's not that it's hard. I I don't have the patience.
Mhm.
Especially when we did team exercises, and one person worked on one part of the code and my code is dependent. I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience. So for me it's hard. So maybe people may not break down what is hard about it, but if I have to depend on somebody else's work, but as you're explaining, like there's a quality assurance engineer and someone checking that, these are steps that I guess in the academic environment or the program I took, there is no one who's the quality assurance person. So maybe that was the step to me enjoying coding.
Hmm.
I, everybody also has a different program writing style.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, so, um, so as it you develop the skill um as a at a group level,
Mhm.
when you uh like more get into the in your masters or in your this one. But initially when you're coding only by yourself, uh that time I would say it's like, because you're in control, like you're totally in control, and like you can just write your code the way you want. And once you that's what happened to me. Like once I got into career field, that's when I had to like adjust to other dependencies
Yeah.
and learn the standard coding style. And so that all happened in the industry for me.
Oh, got it. So I missed that step. So you shared that initially you wanted to be an electrical engineer and was able to pivot. So your bachelor's is in electrical engineering,
Yeah, electrical and computer engineering. Yeah,
and so your master's is in software development,
computer engineering. Yeah.
computer engineering with the software development. What made you choose electrical engineering as your first field of specialization? Like what inspired you? Because they said be an engineer, but they didn't say which one. What made you choose electrical engineering?
um they were specific on that too. so so uh, I even then I wanted to choose computer science, but then there was this period of recession going on. And so the advice that was given to me is, if you choose electrical and computer engineering, so you can choose the subjects, and you can you have the option to become either hardware engineer or software engineer, because both the subjects are covered. And so yeah, that's the reason I went ahead with it. Then I realized I don't like the hardware portion, I like the software. So yeah.
So did you do, so I'm asking this question. A couple days ago, I met a kid who, these questions may seem simple to us, but to the underrepresented community, some of these stuff is not even knowledge that is known. So the kid, he's in a trade. He was saying that he wanted to do computer science, and he was going to do an associate's degree in 4 years. And I said, honey, that's how long a bachelor's takes. And then he said to me, are you sure? And so something as simple as even not knowing the time frame of how long a degree takes, like an associate versus, is not something that is always common knowledge if nobody else in the house has ever had a degree. So you said that you specialize in electrical engineering, and then ComSci, were you a double major, a major and a minor? Because these are questions not everybody knows, you know what I mean? So just break it down for us.
um so in India, it's a different way, where yeah, so when I chose the field that I chose, uh, all the courses were pretty already standardized. Like this semester you'll have 5 courses and all of them you have to take, like. And there were some options in the last year, like did you want to do in the nano field, or did you want to go in data structures. During then I chose, but my case is a little bit different in this, where I had already the courses were already given by the university.
Oh, wow. So you did your master's in the US?
Yeah.
Okay. The what was your childhood like? Did you have you said that you were good in math, but were you good in every science? Like, what was that academic or family dynamic like? Because believe it or not, I actually met an Uber driver who was um, I forgot where he was from. And he was a non-traditional, and he said he just never found his place. And he's like, "No, I'm the black sheep." So, can you speak to that a little bit? Your family dynamic, academics. Did you have any struggles, or did it all come natural to you? Was it a matter of studying? You know, what was that for you?
um so I grew up in a I have a counterpoint for that, an interesting point, I wouldn't say counter. So I yeah, I had a good childhood where I went to private school and like educated household. My dad was an engineer.
Mm,
And so, but what happened was, I was also confident, because it's like uh, my mom was a confident figure, so it inspired me.
yeah.
And what happened was, when I came here, I realized not everybody looks like me,
Why?
person of color. And suddenly I started having a lack in my confidence.
Mm,
um that I'm like, okay, I look different. And the interesting thing is, I put myself in one down position automatically.
mm,
And so I want to tell people out there one thing.
yeah.
Listen to the story. So um my company is very much diversity and inclusivity pro. And so they did a diversity exercise in the company. Uh, so the exercise was like, they said, who all went to school, uh, keep like uh, keep yourself, give yourself 1 point. Who had both parents growing up, give yourself 1 point. Who had a roof overhead at all times, give yourself 1 point. So things like that, like non-drug, no alcohol. So we all gave ourselves 1 point, and they said, if you're 8 and above points, please sit down. And I sat down, and I'm seeing the whole of the white population in the company. They're all standing. I was like, okay. And they said, if you're above above 4, please sit down. And I saw many sat down, but the people who I admired in the company, who are like
Wow.
great confidence, they are all standing.
Ooh.
And yeah, and that blew my mind. So I was like, I am already coming with a one down position. So to my girlies out there, like, just because your skin color is different, don't assume you're in one down position, because you never know who, what their background is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Teary eyed.
So yes, so yeah, we are not in one down just because of our color or race or anything. We are what we bring to the table, our skill set. So
You've answered my next three questions. Why are you so awesome? So I'm trying to find out.
telepathy.
You know what? That's exactly what it is.
I did observe that people are like, if you're a curious person and you want to, if you're like curious and if you're tenacious, so three things I'll say: curiosity, being tenacious, and if you are like willing to communicate, that's all you need. Like,
Mm,
even the non-STEM people who want to come into the job, like we had a person who is in the communication major come into the job because she was really good in communication.
wow.
So she joined as QA engineer and she said, uh, see, I don't know, I know this, I don't know this, whom can I talk? And she paired with them and she got better at it,
Wow.
and then she turned into software engineer now. And
Wow.
yeah, so communication major, and she became QA and then now software engineer. So if you have these things, curiosity, tenacity, and like asking your communication, like just ask.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, my last question is, what does STEM mean to you?
uh for me, STEM means a technical field, but which requires logical thinking, and everybody's good at that. uh, it- uh, they won't even know it sometimes, but it's just like, oh, why did you do that? That means you're logical thinking. So it's
Yeah,
asking why. This.
yeah, absolutely. I love that. And what we don't realize, or most of us realize, that we use logical thinking every day in our life. So
Yeah,
you can translate that to a technical skill. Would you agree?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Even in coding, like if you're like, you literally do that. Like, did you want to write this question mark? Yes, you print hello, or else print good morning. So it's like, it's literally logical.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Go ahead and tell everybody bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much.